SuperMindz.
The Crow and the Pebble. Once upon a time, on a hot summer day, there was a thirsty crow. The crow had been flying around for a long time under the hot sun, looking for water to drink. Finally, he spotted a pitcher lying on the ground. The crow flew down to the pitcher and peered inside. He was happy to see that there was some water at the bottom. But when he tried to drink it, he found that his beak could not reach the water. The pitcher was too tall and the water was too low. The crow was very clever. He thought for a moment and then looked around. He saw some pebbles scattered on the ground nearby. The crow had an idea. He picked up a pebble with his beak and dropped it into the pitcher. The water in the pitcher rose just a little bit. The crow picked up another pebble and dropped it into the pitcher. Plop! The water rose a bit more. The crow continued to pick up pebbles one by one and drop them into the pitcher. With each pebble, the water in the pitcher rose higher and higher. The crow worked hard, picking up and dropping pebbles without stopping. He did not give up, even though it was tiring and took a long time. Finally, after dropping many pebbles into the pitcher, the water level was high enough for the crow to reach it with its beak. He happily drank the cool, refreshing water until he was no longer thirsty. The crow felt very proud of himself. He had used his clever thinking and hard work to solve the problem and get a drink of water. And so the crow flew away feeling happy and refreshed, ready for new adventures. And that's the story of the crow and the pebble. 3 Little Pigs. Once upon a time, in a peaceful and sunny meadow, there lived 3 little pigs. They were brothers who decided it was time to build their own homes and set off on their own adventures. The first little pig, who loved to play and relax, thought it would be easy to build his house out of soft, golden straw. He quickly gathered the straw and built his cozy little house. It was warm and bright, and the little pig felt very happy and safe. The second little pig, who liked to work a little harder, decided to build his house out of sturdy sticks. He spent a bit more time collecting the sticks and carefully stacking them to make his home. It wasn't as quick as the straw house, but the little pig was pleased with his work and felt snug and secure. The third little pig, who was the wisest and the most thoughtful of the 3, decided to build his house out of strong, solid bricks. He worked hard, brick by brick, until he had a beautiful red brick house. It took him the longest, but he knew his house would be very strong and safe. One day, as the sun was setting and the world was quiet and still, a big bad wolf came sneaking through the meadow. He was hungry and looking for a tasty meal. He saw the first little pig's straw house and thought it looked like an easy snack. The wolf knocked on the door and said in a deep, gruff voice, little pig, let me come in." But the first little pig, feeling brave, replied, "Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin." The wolf frowned and huffed and puffed, and with a great big blow, he blew the straw house down. The first little pig ran as fast as he could to brother's stick house. The wolf followed and knocked on the door of the stick house. He called out, little pigs, let me come in." But the two little pigs shouted back, "Not by the hairs on our chins." The wolf, growing more impatient, huffed and puffed, and with a more powerful blow, he blew the stick house down. The two little pigs squealed and scurried to their brother's brick house. The wolf, now feeling quite determined, came to the brick house and knocked on the door. Little pigs, let me come in," he demanded. But the three little pigs, safe inside the strong brick house, confidently answered, "Not by the hairs on our chins." The wolf, taking a deep breath, huffed and puffed, and he blew with all his might. But no matter how hard he tried, the brick house stood firm. The wolf blew and blew until he was out of breath. Finally, tired and frustrated, the wolf gave up and ran away, leaving the three little pigs safe and sound in their sturdy brick house. The three little pigs were so happy to be safe together. They learned a valuable lesson, that hard work and careful planning always pay off. They lived happily ever after in the strong brick house. Once upon a time, in a lush forest, there lived a clever fox and a nimble cat. The fox was very proud of how smart he was and loved to show off his many tricks. One day, the fox met the cat on a path in the forest. "Hello, cat," said the fox. "I have so many clever tricks to get away from danger. How many tricks do you know?" The cat replied modestly, "I only know one trick, but it's a good one." The fox laughed and said, "Only one? I know hundreds of tricks. You should learn some more, like me." Just then, they heard the sound of a thunderous hound barking in the distance. The fox and the cat knew the dogs were coming closer. The cat immediately sprang into action. "Goodbye, fox, this is my trick," she said, and swiftly climbed up on a tall tree, finding a safe spot among the branches. The fox, meanwhile, was thinking about which of his many tricks he should use. Should I run through the thicket, or maybe hide in a burrow? Or should I try to trick the hounds by running in circles? He could not decide. While he was busy thinking, the hounds came nearer and nearer. Before the fox could even make up his mind, the hounds arrived and caught him. The cat, safely perched in the tree, watched as the fox was taken away by the hunters. After the danger had passed, the cat climbed down from the tree and continued on her way. She thought about what had happened. She realized that sometimes having one good reliable trick is better than knowing many tricks that you can't decide between a moment of danger. From that day on, the cat was even more grateful for her one trick. And that's the story of the fox and the cat. The Gingerbread Man. Once upon a time, there was an old woman who lived in a little cottage with her husband. One day, she decided to bake a special treat. She mixed flour, sugar, and spices to make gingerbread dough. She rolled it out and cut it into shape of a little man. She gave him raisin eyes, a cinnamon candy nose, and icing for a mouth and buttons. Then she put him in the oven to bake. As she was cleaning up, she heard a little voice coming from the oven. "Let me out! Let me out!" The old woman opened the oven door, and out jumped the gingerbread man. He ran across the kitchen and out of the door, shouting, "Run, run as fast as you can! You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man!" The old woman and her husband ran after him. But the gingerbread man was too fast. He ran past a cow grazing in the field. The cow looked up and said, "Moo, you look tasty. I want to eat you." The gingerbread man laughed and said, I've run away from an old woman and an old man, and I can run away from you. I can." And he ran shouting, "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man." The cow ran after him, but the gingerbread man was too fast. He kept running and soon passed a horse trotting along the road. The horse said, "You look delicious. I want to eat you." The gingerbread man laughed and said, "I've run away from an old woman, an old man, and a cow, and I can run away from you. I can." And he ran shouting, "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man." The horse ran after him, but the gingerbread man was too fast. He kept running and soon reached a river. He wanted to cross but didn't know how. Just then, a sly fox came by and said, "I can help you cross the river. Just hop on my tail and I'll swim across." The gingerbread man thought for a moment and jumped onto the fox's tail. The fox began to swim across the river. After a while, the fox said, "My tail is getting tired. Jump onto my back." The gingerbread man did as he was told. As they swam further, the fox said, "My back is getting wet. Jump onto my nose." The gingerbread man did as he was told. When they were almost across the river, the fox suddenly tossed the gingerbread man into the air and snapped him up in one quick bite. And that was the end of the gingerbread man. The moral of the story is to be careful who you trust and not to be too boastful. If you had fun today, give us a thumbs up, share, and subscribe so you don't miss our next adventure.